Hi everyone, and welcome to our last Family Alphabet story time. Our first story today is called Xavier and Zena Find Their Band. Zena Ziris and her cousin Xavier were two African ground squirrels who loved to make music together. They wanted to start a band, but didn't know how. The two decided that they were going to ask other people about music, and maybe that would lead into them asking if they wanted to be part of the band. So each of them asked a few friends, but the answer was no. One day Zena was leaving the library. Here's what that might look like. And saw a flyer on the bulletin board. It had a picture of a xylophone and a microphone. Someone was looking for a singer and a xylophone player. Perfect, she thought. She played the xylophone, and Xavier could sing really well. Zena took a picture of the flyer with her phone and sent it to Xavier. They called the number as soon as she got to his house and were invited to come to a practice. Zena was so excited. But Xavier was a little nervous. Would his singing be good enough? He always thought that Zena was a great musician, but had doubts about his singing. On the way to practice, Zena talked non-stop and waved her mallets around pretending to play. She didn't need to bring her xylophone because they had one there. Xavier didn't hear much of what she said. He was still worried. When they came to a clearing, ahead of them were 3 squirrels by a tunnel entrance, staring. Here's what that might have looked like. Xavier took a deep breath and tried to keep walking forward. The 3 squirrels were actually really friendly and led them to their practice area nearby. Zena had no problem playing the music on the xylophone, and now it was Xavier's turn to sing. He took the microphone, watched the conductor, and started singing the song he had practiced with Zena. She played in the background for him. Xavier lost himself in the music. When his song was over, there was silence. He looked around and sighed. Then came cheering and clapping. Everyone loved his singing and Zena's playing. They were invited to officially be part of the band. Xavier sang his song again, and the whole band played. While he was singing, he could hear the flute and drum and many other instruments. He couldn't imagine being in a better place. Xavier winked at Zena, who nodded back while she played. Our second story today is called Yaxie. Yanni Yak loved wandering around the hillsides and trails near his village. There were so many interesting things to see. He was in the village one day and heard some people talking about having a hard time getting around. Also, that it was hard to get their supplies from the village all the way home. Carts were helpful, but not everyone was strong enough to pull or push them. Yanni wandered home thinking about this. He loved walking and knew his way around really well. His bag was strong enough to carry lots of stuff. The only problem was that he couldn't solve the people's problem all by himself. He would need help. More yaks. He told his grandmother about his wanting to help. She told him, "A long time ago, Yanni, I visited a larger city. They had these things called taxis. They were wheeled things that helped people get from one place to another by charging a small fee, even carrying their packages." That gave Yanni a lot to think about. He saw his friend Yvette the next day on a nearby hillside. Yanni called out a greeting, then went closer. He told her about the problem in the village and what his grandmother had told him about taxis. Yvette was excited about the idea. She asked, "Do you think we could get these taxis here?" "They might have a hard time on our hillsides, though. We are more sure-footed than a wheeled thing." That gave Yanni an idea. He thanked Yvette and went off to spread the word to his friends about a meeting, asking anyone who might be interested in helping the people with their problem and earn a little money to come. At the meeting, he was surprised to see about 15 yaks. Yanni stood in front and spoke. "Thank you for coming, my friends. I think we yaks are perfect to help the people with their transportation problem. We are strong, sure-footed on the hillsides, and know our way around this area well." He looked around and saw many of the other yaks nod in agreement. "I would like to start a taxi service. We would charge the people a small fee. We could haul them on our backs with their supplies balanced on either side in bags or sacks. Many of us have colorful blankets we wear from time to time that we could wear to give us soft padding and give padding to our customers. What do you think?" The group cheered. That is when the village Yaxi was started. Yanni met with some people from the village to explain what they were offering. Then he told them how much. The people were very excited that they could get help getting their supplies and themselves around easier. The yaks had fun choosing their padding and blankets. Here's some of what they might have looked like. Some even wore fancy decorations, thinking that the people would choose them first. Yanni's grandmother gave him a special blanket, telling her that she was so proud of him for doing his best to solve a problem for others. Our last story today is called I Z Your Pattern. Zinni Zebra knew she was different. Everyone told her so. Where most zebras had stripes, she had a different pattern here and there. Her mom told her that it made her special. Zinni wasn't so sure. Sometimes she would hear the other zebras laugh at her, and it made her sad. Walking near the watering hole one day, she looked at the mud and thought about rolling in it. She was muddy. No one would notice her strange pattern. She stepped one hoof into the mud, then another. Just as she was starting to lay down, she heard someone crying. Zinni stepped back out of the mud and went forward toward the sound. She found a strange lump behind a tree. It was shaped like a zebra, but the pattern was different, even different from hers. Zinni stepped forward. "Are you okay?" The zebra on the ground sniffed. "No! Just go away! Leave me alone!" Zinni wasn't leaving. "Well, I'll ask in a different way then. Are you hurt?" The smaller zebra finally looked up at Zinni, about to yell again, but stopped. "You have a strange pattern." Zinni sighed. "Yes, but if I stand behind trees, it's harder for the others to see it. Where your pattern is, I would imagine it could be hard to hide from others." The other zebra sniffed and hiccuped. "And the others make fun of me. I wish I could hide it like you." Zinni understood. "What's your name?" "I'm Zinni." The smaller zebra stood. "I'm Zane. Do you know any way I can fix my pattern?" Zinni decided to be honest. Well, I was going to roll in the mud over by the watering hole. If they can't see it, they can't make fun. But I came over here instead because I heard you crying. Zane giggled, but her sides hurt. You were going to roll in the mud? But you're almost full grown. Why are they making fun of you? They should know it isn't your fault. Zinni thought about that for a moment. You would think that would be the case, but there are some mean zebras out there. Age doesn't matter when it comes to bullies. They come in all shapes and sizes. Zane nodded. They sure do. I get made fun of by everyone because I look different. I keep telling them that I have my pattern for a reason, and I just don't know what it is yet. Zinni smiled. Ooh, I like that. I think you're right. Someday a pattern like yours will be needed. Would you like to come to the watering hole with me? Maybe if there are two of us, they'll leave us alone. Zane started to follow. I agree. Years went by, and the two had become good friends. One day there was an alarm that predators were coming. The herd went toward a group of nearby trees, but Zane saw the predators and knew that the trees would hide them, but only if they went deep into the forest. She found a cave in the forest where they could hide. The only problem with that was that they could be seen from the entrance because of all their stripes. That gave Zane an idea. She shared her idea with Zinni, and they were able to hide the herd. Here's what the cave might have looked like from the inside. When the predators came, they stared very hard at the cliff, sniffed hard, but finally went away. Zane stood from her place at the entrance and told the others they could come out because it was safe. She was so happy to have helped. Zinni walked up to her. You were right. Your pattern had a purpose. It just saved the whole herd. You looked just like a rock at the entrance with your head down. Those predators were so confused. That was awesome. Zane smiled. I'm glad my pattern finally helped us. Thanks for not making fun of me when I told you my pattern had a purpose. And thank you for being a good friend.